Hello, business building warrior. Welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio, the only podcast in e-commerce that we're aware of that features hundreds of success stories from the listeners of the show who have deployed the ideas taught on the show. We call it a flywheel of success around here. And hopefully you've been enjoying the journey listening to the episodes that we've put together for you. We recently passed 1,000 episodes, which is an incredible benchmark. We recently won Best Amazon Seller Podcast in the industry, which was pretty cool as well. For a low budget show where we just have conversations with real people, that's quite an honor. A few things before we jump into today's show. My guest is going to be a guy who's been with me for over 23 years on our team. His name is Nathan Bailey. He is our coaching director, but he does a lot of other things as well. We're very proud of the fact that on our core leadership team, we are doing at scale absolutely every business model that we talk about and teach around here. So if you get into our Proven Amazon course training, which is our library of training modules, there's someone on our team who is right now at scale running that business. And in many cases, Nathan is one of those guys. He'll describe his list of businesses here in just a couple of minutes as a true multiple income stream strategy that he's got going on. But one of the things we're most excited about right now is the fact that we've launched a new service where our team of virtual assistants can help you manage your business. We'll get into the specifics during the show today. If you're interested in what you hear and you want to have a team of virtual assistants managing the back end, pretty much everything you can imagine that goes into running an Amazon business, whether you're selling your own product or if you're a reseller, wholesale, bundles, any of those, we can run the back end. The stuff that you just dread doing, the stuff you don't even know you're supposed to be doing. A team of VAs has been doing it very successfully for a good number of clients of ours for a while. We've tested it, we've proven it out. Nate's going to tell you who these virtual assistants are, how we find them, how we trained them, and what all they're doing in the background for some of our very successful clients and students right now, and how we are now for the first time making it available to anyone else who'd like to take advantage of it. If you want to have a conversation with us about this service, once you've heard today's episode, go to silentjim.com/book a call. That's the link. You'll see it. You can text us. There's a phone number on that page, or you can schedule a convenient time on our calendar and someone will reach out to you at that preset time. Hop on Zoom, have a good conversation with you about this service or about any of the other services we provide that you're going to hear us discussing today. The other thing we spend a lot of time talking about today is our upcoming live event. That's right. It's the 13th annual Proven Conference, the longest running Amazon seller event in the world. It's happening at the end of May. If you're listening to this episode right when it came out, which you should always do with our podcast, listen to them as soon as you can when new episodes drop, because current events are important. We want you in Orlando the last 3 days of May 2025. The website is theprovenconference.com. That link and all the other links we talk about today will be in the show notes, of course. We'd love to have you come at no cost. If you're new to our community, if you've never been to our event before, maybe funds are a little tight this year, we still want you there. Plan to come to Orlando. There's details about our scholarship program for free attendance, as well as all the other details about the event at the same website. Theprovenconference.com is the website. Check it out. So Nate and I spend some time talking about those two things primarily, some of the other income streams that he has going on, and philosophically, how does it work to have multiple income streams? And one of the things I always like to point out when the topic is multiple income streams on the internet is the fact that the reason it's even necessary is because so much of your internet income is going to be on platforms that are owned by someone else. Facebook, eBay, Walmart.com, Amazon, all these sites are owned by large, kind of impersonal entities, and you may or may not be able to get through the process of running your business successfully for months or years without breaking one of the rules, without getting temporarily suspended, without facing some challenges you didn't anticipate. So we like to say, hey, build multiple streams, use multiple strategies. So we spend some time on that topic as well today, why it's even necessary. Now, if you're new, you don't have to go learn how to run 5, 7, 12 different businesses. That's not what we're saying. We're saying as you grow and scale, diversify. And it's not as hard to do as you might think. We've got a whole army of people in our community who have done exactly that. As long as you're adding new relationships and learning new skills, you're going to be diversifying your income over the next several months and years as you're a part of our community. We've seen it over and over again for a long time around here. So here's the points of action. Plan to come to our conference. If you can't make it, get live stream access. That gets you all the recordings as well for a ridiculously low price. A link to that is at the same website, theprovenconference.com. Next is if you want to have a team of virtual assistants that we've trained to run some of the highest and highest performing accounts in our community on both Amazon and Walmart, you want to put our team to work on yours, it's not that expensive. We'd love to help you with all the back end processes and just enjoy this time with Nate and I having a conversation, reminiscing a little bit, teaching you some new things as well. I think today's episode is a really good one, and you're going to absolutely enjoy spending some time with us. Thanks for being the best part of our show. Enjoy this episode. So, hey, Nate, welcome back.
Hey, Jim, how's it going, man?
Doing great, man. Love having you on the show. I can't believe we've done over 1,000 episodes, and you've maybe only been a guest 5 or 6 times. That's how crazy busy things are around here.
Yeah, man. You know what it is it's like, I've never really been a guy that I'm not really looking for the spotlight. You know, it's funny is you guys are like, Nate, you need to be an author. You need to write a book. I'm like, no, that's not what I do. I like being the guy behind the guy. I like supporting you and you know, doing all the things on the back end to serve these clients. But it was funny that you guys, does everybody know that you guys wrote a book and put my name on it? Like, and cause I resisted being an author for so long. I don't want to write a book. No. One day you called me up and said, hey, Nate, congratulations on your new book. I'm like, what are you talking about? Go look on Amazon. I look myself up and I'm like, oh, I've got a book called Success Stories. Like I didn't know. So you guys,
we just compiled a few podcast episodes and the stories from the students and slapped your name on it.
That's so funny. You know what though? I really appreciate that just because, you know, that's what I love about this community, Jim, is that everybody is so thoughtful of everybody else. I love that we're not all in here clamoring for, you know, success. You know, you're my competitor. You know, the word I like to use is we all work together in co-opetition. That's the beauty of this conference, that, you know, the Proven Conference that this is year number 13.
This is the longest running Amazon seller conference in the world. We've been doing it longer than Amazon. We were voted the #1 reseller conference in the world. Late 2024, they gave us that accolade along with a handful of other prizes we won. But yeah, 13th year and a few stats as of right now. Here we are, you know, we're just a few weeks away from the event. It's the last 3 days of May, 2025. The Proven Conference is the website, but we've got over 1,200 people in the private Facebook group for the event. We've booked about 1,100 plus room nights at the host resort, which is pretty cool.
That's way cool.
On my kitchen table right over here, our dining room table is covered with the schedule. I'm laying it out. I've got Post-it notes, about 50 Post-it notes for days and time slots and figuring everything out, juggling that. We'll have that ready for everyone soon. Yeah, it's coming together beautifully. Great breakout sessions. You're going to be doing a few of them. And some of the stuff you're going to be talking about at the event and some of the new things we're doing is what you're most excited to share today. But let's just go wherever you want to go, man. The last time we had you on the show was the 1,000th episode, which was pretty incredible. For those who didn't hear it, go back and check that out. It was a great episode. We had a good panel there. But what's been going on since? What are you working on?
You know, I think, though, going back to why I haven't been on the podcast more is there's so many success stories, Jim, that I just feel that those stories just take precedence. And on my end, on the back end, is really my job with you is to create those success stories. And I don't just, I hate even calling it a job. Really, it's actually, you know, I feel more as it's my fiduciary obligation to generate success, right? And create results with what we're doing. We've been around for over 2 decades working together, you and I, right? And my role is to keep coming up with things that I do, because I actually do the business. Not a lot of people, they think that, well, Nate just oversees the coaching. I own a business called Hummingbird too, where it isn't coaching. It's if you need something done for you, right? Like we do trademarks and brand registry. We build bundle listings. We build listings. We can do everything from product photography to structuring the whole listing build at Amazon stores. I mean, everything from websites to entity formation to helping out with tax financial issues or whatever the case may be. Those are things that are done for you. I also have a 3PL warehouse, but people don't really know this though. But I was at Goodwill the other day, and they have the bins warehouse. So they have the main hub of Goodwill here in Salt Lake. You go there and they bring out these bins of clothing and books, toys, and just junk. Right. And you put on gloves because it's just toxic if you don't. And you pick through that stuff. And I take the whole family. My kids love it. My son, my 14-year-old son has become a massive reseller. We've got a guy that we've contracted with on Whatnot to sell his Funko Pops. He's got about $50,000 in inventory at 14 years old. And now his big thing is shoes now. So he goes and finds shoes at thrift stores and flips those shoes and clothes and Nike, like Nike and Adidas and the Yeezys and all that stuff. And so I still do thrift hunting, and I sell on eBay and I sell on Walmart. We sell on Amazon. I sell books. And I do everything that we teach. But part of that is discovering new strategies to continue elevating the business and creating new techniques that we can use to build multiple streams of internet income and, use the internet creatively to generate revenue. And the big thing for me over the last few years has been going out and finding businesses that are absolutely clueless about getting on the internet and using Amazon as a tool in their business. Usually what they are is they're big companies. They sell wholesale to either distributors or other resellers that sell on Amazon. And now they're seeing the importance of managing their own brand on Amazon, but they're clueless about it. They have no clue how to do it. And so I went out there and got me some really big accounts, right? Where we do everything. We manage everything. And at first it was me, right, in the thick of it, because I know how to do everything. I'm one of these foolish CEOs that I'm doing things that I shouldn't be doing as a CEO because I love to learn. I do graphic design. I do web development, a little bit of programming. I'm that guy that you've called me Forrest Gump before because I don't just play music. I play every instrument. I'm the recording engineer. I have a recording studio. I've got, every instrument I play. I just don't sing. You don't ever want to hear me sing. Maybe karaoke at the conference if we go out and do karaoke, but that's about it. And by the way, if you do come to the conference, make sure to hook up with me. We're going to hang out. We're probably going to do a party at the conference there. But, being the guy that does everything isn't what elevates your business. And I got so bogged down with managing these accounts. And I've been working with virtual assistants over in the Philippines for a long time. I work with onlinejobs.ph site. We've done some things with VAs, some things that were very wildly successful and some things that didn't work as well as we'd hoped for. But what's working the best for me right now is I've had some VAs about 5 years ago that I actually trained for another agency, right, on how to build a listing. What is my magical formula for titles and bullets and descriptions and the images and the back end keywords and the A+ content and video, and what is it that Amazon likes to see when you build a new listing, and how do we get that listing ranked? And back then it was like, okay, how do I get this group or listings or this brand up at the top of page one, right? And now my objective is not to get that product up at the top of page one. I want their whole catalog to be page one. And we've succeeded at it. At the conference, I'm actually going to be speaking about that. But in the process, we came up with this idea after getting these, I have a VA that is my lead. She is certified PPC specialist, certified by Amazon. She knows more about this stuff than I do now. And I originally trained her 5 years ago. And I love it more than anything when the student becomes the teacher at this, through coaching, right? The coaching program works so well that I have coaching students that were clueless in the beginning. I've taught them. They've come back now, and now they teach me. I made them coaches, and now I'm signing up for their coaching program, right? And so, but working with these VAs has been a different thing because, I always felt so possessive of making sure everything got done and the design of the SOPs. But I've kind of taken a step back as the CEO, and let this team of VAs make some really rock solid SOPs based around account management, right? What are the things and the SOPs that need to be run with a business? And so we did a program way back where it was like, hey, we'll hire and train your VA to do sourcing, right? There's some hard things about that where the system breaks down, it fails. And 3P Mercury, the development of 3P Mercury software was one of the things that helped fix that problem, that kind of kept those sourcing VAs separate. But hiring somebody for someone's business and saying, okay, here, they're going to know your culture and they're just going to plug it and it's going to work every time, that's hard. But what I'm doing now is think about this in your business. You think about all the things as a CEO that you shouldn't be doing. Going back and forth with Amazon in the case log, right? Oh, well, I had a IP complaint, right? So now I got to go in and I got to go into the case log and give them the information that they need and go back and forth. Or, hey, I got a listing that got suspended or suppressed, or there's an issue or there's a problem. Even, hey, I got a bad review on this. I need to get that review removed. You should never, ever be doing that and managing the inside of Amazon. You should never be managing your PPC. You should know what it is and what it does and how to. But I've developed a program, Jim, where I think this is great for, people that do really any strategy selling on Amazon, right? Usually what it was for and what we built all these account management SOPs is for all these clients that have their own brand, right? But I quickly learned that this is ideal. And I've been testing this for about the last year with online arbitrage sellers, retail arbitrage sellers, wholesale sellers, private label sellers. And what we do is we manage the complex account tasks that we spread out across multiple VAs. This VA over here is managing your PPC. This VA over here is managing your account health and performance and any case log issues. This VA over here is optimizing listings. So if you built some bundles or you have listings that you're selling on, but they've only got 2 images and it isn't the correct manufacturer images and the ad copy is not good and the titles aren't optimized and the keywords aren't optimized, that's what they do. Or they can make videos for the product listing, right? We call this inconsistent listing optimization that we go in and fix. Even on listings that you didn't build on Amazon, a lot of people don't realize that just because you didn't build the listing doesn't mean that you can add and improve the catalog on Amazon. Another thing that we find is the missed restocks, right? Like a lot of people use software for that sort of thing. But now with Amazon having the low inventory issues, and then now they're setting restock limits as well, right? So basically, we have a system that we built, and what we've built in these SOPs are not just SOPs, but these people are so talented. We've set up ChatGPT for Google Sheets, and it literally pulls the data that we need for reports right out of Amazon into these spreadsheets. And it's absolutely incredible what has been built, what it does. Like we've set up a system to manage your entire profit and loss, your balance sheet right there. And not only that, not just the whole overall arching, profit and loss for the business, but on each individual ASIN that you're selling. You're like, oh, wow, we're selling a ton of that, but gosh, I'm only making 4% margin on that one. Not good. We need to fix that. How do we fix that? Well, the team has systems, processes in place to do that. It's not just restocking inventory. You can't just you don't want too much. You don't want too little. You need just enough. And it's not like, hey, I'm going to watch the software and it's going to tell me exactly what to do, which there are some good softwares that do it. But we literally build a report for your team to say, this is how many of that item that you sold in the last 30 days. This is how many need to be sent in. And here's the date that those need to be sent in and how they need to be sent in. We actually can set that up and just say, here's your labels. Here's the shipment. We did all of that. Another thing is your reimbursement opportunities. Now with the changes of Amazon, it's so hard to keep up to date of, well, what are they going to reimburse me here or there? And have somebody else chasing that down for you. We do all of that, right? And more importantly, BSR. People do not track sales rank on listings like they should. we have created with Chat GPT and AI and Google Sheets, something that monitors all your ASINs. You know how you look at the Keepa chart and you can see this tracking for, you can see the green line on sales rank going up and down and up and down and up and down, right? Well, what if you've got an ASIN that's trending downwards, right? And if you've got hundreds of ASINs that you're managing and tracking, it's hard to stay on top of it and know this is why it's going down, this is why it's going up. We have a team, right? That's all they watch. Oh, this one, the BSR is dropping on this one. Well, what's going on? We go in and investigate the listing. Oh, wow, it's got a high price area. They've suppressed the buy box. Okay, they get to work and they fix it. And guess what? While they're doing that, you're getting a good night's sleep. And then you're waking up the next day and you don't have to wake up and look at your account and go, oh, whoa, did I get suspended? No, because you got somebody watching it like a hawk to make sure that that doesn't happen. But you're focused on sourcing more inventory. That's how you make money. Think about it, Jim. You make money in this business when you buy inventory. Selling it, yeah, but it's really, you make money when you buy it. And if you can focus solely on the purchasing side of the business and not have to deal with all of the back end, deal with removing reviews that can be removed, watching the BSR, watching performance health issues, watching your IPI score or your health score to make sure everything's running well, making sure all the listings are optimized, making sure that you're staying in tune with all the Amazon changes to make sure that your titles are up to date or whatever the case may be. I have a team that will completely manage all of that for you and get you out of the weeds, right?
And let me just make an observation. There may be some people who are thinking, man, that sounds super expensive. A whole team? I don't know if I can justify that. There's probably listeners today who don't understand that in the Philippines, the US dollar goes very, very far. The team you just described, if they were US based, we'd be paying them $20 to $50 an hour per person to monitor all those different aspects of your business. And it would be an expensive service. If it was a US based service, it'd probably cost a few $1,000s a month to have that service minimum, right? But we're using VAs in the Philippines where the US dollar goes very far. Like you mentioned early on, they've been trained by us a long time ago. Mm-hmm. They've worked for other agencies. They've come back and said, hey, we want to work with you guys. We love you guys. So they've been doing this a long time. They understand our philosophies. And for a few dollars per hour, which is what you're paying them, paying them well in their local currency. Remember, like a $4 or $5 an hour job in the Philippines is the equivalent to 4 or 5 times minimum wage in the United States, because the average minimum wage in the Philippines is $1 US per hour, right? Yeah. So this is a great pay rate for them. But like you said, I love the analogy you use, while you're sleeping, they're monitoring, tracking, keeping track of things that you didn't even realize you should be keeping an eye on your account. And this goes for retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale, private label, no matter what kind of business, or even if you bring us a client and say, hey,
if you're doing
here's a brand.
If you're doing your own proven product partnering deals where you're going out and doing what I do, where you find brands and then you say, hey, I'll manage it. Just pay me a revenue share if I get results. We all make money. If I don't, you don't pay me anything, right? And so that's another thing is you can bring them to us. But here's another angled spin on that, Jim, right? Is why would you need us when they can just go and get an online jobs PH account and go get their own VA? Well, here's why. Because, getting your own dedicated VA is going to require that you train them, right? And no single VA can do everything. Case filings, PPC, build listings, do all the reports, the profit and loss, the balance sheet, Walmart management, and a lot more, right? So no single VA could do that. And that's why I built a whole team, right? You need 3 to 5 VAs to do what our team delivers as a system, right?
Each of them specialized.
Yep.
So for those who understand the law of specialization.
They're following a proven SOP that we didn't just build recently. This is something that we've actually been using in our business for years. And I thought, man, why wouldn't I just make this available to our community and make it so affordable that you just feel like
that's what we've done for over 2 decades, Nate, is we do it profitably ourselves and then roll that out to others with the system that we've created, and we introduce it to others. And we've got a team of leaders. That's what they do. That's how we're doing Amazon to Amazon flips. We found someone who's doing a great job with it. We said, hey, train us. It's a student who came through our system. They teach us things. We love when the teacher becomes the student. You and I just have a front row seat to the smartest kids in the class, and we sit here and learn all day. And then we share what we're learning with the larger community. That's been our business model for over 2 decades, and it's worked brilliantly. And this is
Killer.
just another example of that. We've got this great team of VAs that you've built to serve your businesses and your high-end clients with
Yep.
big brands that you said you're going to be telling us more about at the conference. I'd love a sneak peek of some of that, though.
Yeah.
I know we've got some household name brand size clients who are using our services at this point, and this is a team of VAs backing them up. Hey, we'll get back to the show in just a moment. I've got an important announcement. You'll want to take note of this. silentjim.com/the system. Go check it out if you haven't yet. One of my favorite interviews ever with Kang. We talk about a tool that he's developed that helps him completely automate his multiple seven-figure reselling business on Amazon. If you've got spreadsheets and a collection of multiple random tools working together and against each other, trying to run your Amazon business, it's time to move to a smoother system. If you're new and you're wanting to do things the right way, start off with a smooth running workflow system that manages every aspect of your Amazon reselling business. And it's going to include Walmart soon as well at no additional cost. You want to get over and check it out. The prices will go up on the system soon. Early in 2025, we're going to start aggressively promoting this tool outside of our community. Right now, you can pay about 1/5 of what others will be paying for this tool. It's been beta tested by 200 sellers in our community. They've given it raving feedback. It will help automate and eliminate all the excess work and the conflicting processes that might be going on in your business right now. Check this out. Kang has a tiny team, the smallest we've ever seen for someone running a multiple seven-figure business. He doesn't have to do anything except check his stats and give his team of about 3 people access to this incredible software. You need to check it out. silentjim.com/the system. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out after this episode. We'd love to hear from you if you have any questions. Let's get back to the show. And this is the team of VAs backing them up. And we're saying, hey, even if you're a small Amazon seller, here's the detail. Here's the fact of the matter. You've been hearing this, and I think this is some of the resistance that people have to selling on Amazon. See if this rings true with you, Nate, as I say it. We didn't plan this ahead of time, but it used to feel simpler to be an Amazon seller than it does now. It feels like there's more things you got to keep your eye on now. I would argue the opportunity is bigger than it's ever been, but there's a lot of little things you got to keep your eye on. No one ever told me I had to monitor that. What are you talking about? I got to, Section 3. What is that? Right? All these little things you got to keep an eye on. Having a team that's doing that for a large number of other sellers while keeping an eye on yours alleviates a lot of that just daily painful tasks. I don't want to have to check every day to see if X, Y, or Z is happening in my account. Let someone else do that. It starts to make a lot of sense. Does that sound?
It keeps you out of trouble. It keeps you from getting suspended.
It's proactive.
Being run.
It's a proactive approach instead of the reactive approach to having a healthy account.
Yeah. A certified person that is certified to manage. It's not the, we are part of the SPN network, which is a new program that Amazon set up for any service provider, the service provider network. So with us, you get a team of specialists, right, that watch every aspect of your account to make sure that you don't let anything slip by you, that everything is managed tightly. What's cool, what's even better about it is you're getting a streamlined workflow, an SOP that's being run that has very clear reporting. And that's the, I think as a seller is knowing your numbers, but knowing exactly where you're at, because how are you going to get to where you want to be in your business if you don't know where you're at? It's like if we went on a road trip, and we just get in the car, just drive on any road in any direction. And then you get out in the middle of nowhere and then you pull out a map and go, okay, where are we at? That's not going to work. You got to know where you're at in order to get to where you want to be. And then not only that, but you have these cross-checked outputs with zero micromanagement, right? Like, think about this. If you get a VA, you got to stay on them and manage them and make sure they're doing their job or whatever. Wouldn't it be nice to know that this team doesn't need to be managed? They're going to manage you and say, hey, you need to do this, 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 and this. We did this for you. Just want to let you know, here's the report. here's the rollout for this week. This is what we're doing. This is what we did last week. And to have that just come into your inbox or into what we use as Basecamp, a project management tool that shows you everything that's going on so you can quantify what's happened here. Another thing too is I hate even using this word done for you because there's so many Amazon scams out there that are like, oh, completely done for you. Anybody that comes at you says done for you, 100% of the time it's a scam. If you can show me an Amazon done for you business that is not a scam, I'll give you $10,000 reward, right? But with the type of proactive execution that we put in place, see, for me, I wouldn't say I'm a micromanager, but when I started turning over these accounts that I've been managing for years over to these VAs, I was like having to like make sure. Finally, Ronnie, my lead VA on this is like, Nate, we've got it. You're good, dude. You don't have to worry. And I'll be like, did this get done? Did that get done? Did this get done? And then she's like, oh yeah, we already did that. It's good. Here, let me plug you in this way so that you know what's being done in real time. And that's why we set this up the way that we did, so that you don't have to worry about, is everything getting done over here so that I can focus on what needs to be done as the CEO of the business over here, right? I think that it's important because, once you get going with Amazon and Walmart, now you got eBay, now you got Etsy, and now you got all these marketplaces. Maybe you got a Shopify now, whatever. All of that gets managed. It's a lot to manage, especially on your own. Another thing too is ads. Let's say you're an arbitrage or a replens seller. You're probably running the penny ad accounts. Well, we've got some strategies around running multiple penny ad accounts where we manage it out to where we've literally blown up RA, OA sellers that were never doing ads at about a 4% acquisition cost to spend, where they've doubled and tripled their sales on certain ASINs that they wouldn't have otherwise, just because you've got a certified Amazon PPC expert that knows all the tricks managing that side of your business. And guess what? You don't have to learn anything. You don't have to spend any more money than you're already spending.
I would suspect that if you're an Amazon seller of a certain size, I don't know what that number is. I would suspect it's maybe around $25,000, $30,000 a month in sales, something like it, maybe smaller. That if all you did was use the paid ad services from this team, it pays for itself because of the increased sales you're going to see. If you're running these penny to nickel ads, it costs you. I've seen massive catalogs of ASINs, like 2,500 ASIN catalogs for replens resellers that are running $30 or $40 a day in paid ads that are resulting in an extra $1,500 a day in sales, let's say, right? At nice profit margins. So it more than pays for itself. How about you just let someone else do that? Set it up for you, manage it for you. And it's pennies per day for dollars per day in extra sales is what it comes down to.
Yeah, buy back your time. And you're probably wondering what does something like this cost? Starts at about $500 a month. Mm-hmm. $500 a month, less than minimum wage to have people working on your account full time to manage it. $500 a month. My team does it all. If you've got a lot more ad spend to manage and a lot more listings to be built, it can go up there in between 500 and 1,000. But most people start out at $500 a month. Now, this gives you monthly Amazon account checkups. What else we do is if you have an Amazon store, we can help you get brand registered, set you up an Amazon store. But Amazon now has a blog feature, like it's a blog, and we've built an AI bot that automates posts that go into this blog. And every time you put it that go in the store, every time a post goes into your Amazon store, any of your customers that follow your store, there's a little follow button on your store. They'll get an email notification through Amazon that you made a post. And those, happen 3 to 5 times a week. Like they automate. We've reports and dashboards, they're automated. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to know, oh, okay, this is exactly how much I spent in ad spend. This is exactly how much I made in profit. Or this is exactly what my net margins were for the month. This is exactly what I made profit without having to go in and navigate Amazon's confusing reports. It's created for you in a dashboard where literally it updates daily with ChatGPT through the business reports and Amazon's API. We've built some really extensive stuff, your sales rank tracking, your inventory restock, your case support. We build listings. If you want a new listing built, we just do it all for you, right? Give us the initial image. Tell us what you want. We'll build the ad copy, the titles, bullets, description, everything. any cases that need to be filed on any ASINs that may need to be fixed, proactively gets done. A lot of times we see there's a problem and we fix it before you even realize there was a problem. If you looked at the report and went, what did you do this week? Oh, I didn't even know I had that problem. Oh, and you fixed it. Awesome. You know what? That's the thing is, would it be nice to know that there were problems in your business that were automatically being fixed for you that you didn't even know that you had? That's what it was like for me, like turning all this on. I mean, it took me a second to kind of let go, right? Like, I don't know about you, Jim, but I will wake up in the middle of the night worrying about, that one issue with that account, I got to get that fixed. I don't do that anymore, right? I mean, all I do is I look at the weekly status reports and the summaries. And if there's something that I need to get involved with, I'll get involved, right? Not only that, but I mean, we're managing Walmart. And a lot of times people, okay, I know what's going on with Amazon. I'm good at this, but then they'll get over on Walmart and I'm like, okay, this is different. I don't know what I'm doing. What should I do here? And it's like, oh no, we'll do that for you. Here you go. Done. Oh, your WFS issue is fixed, right? Oh, your listing's not being published, fixed. So we know what we're doing. And the interesting thing about that is it's because we failed forward enough to learn how to fix just about every single problem that could be a problem. And, if you've been thinking about, okay, you know what, I think I'm going to go down the path of doing some branded bundles. Now, I'll tell you this, last year we ran into a snag, right? And there was something weird that went on, right? But I got to tell you, branded bundles is alive and well. In fact, Jim, with the bundles that I'm building, it's not allowed me just to get the companies that I manage, their listings to the top of page one. I literally have a client where we are all of page one and page two. Like for all the keywords that we need to show up for, our competitors, we just pushed them all down. We found ways that we can dominate. And that's the thing is when you've got 5 VAs working for you on this to do that, it's easy to build 20, 30, 40, 50 listings that say, oh, hey, let's do a variation bundle of this and a variation bundle of this and of this and this and this. And so you're not just at the top of page one, you are all of page one, and not just on Amazon, for Walmart. And the more visibility you have, right? And the more you're able to focus on the things that grow your business, those growth levers, and the less you're having to go in and wrangle, a case log with Amazon seller support, which I know everybody loves seller support like I do because they're always so helpful, right? I mean, I don't do any of that. I am never on a frustrating call with somebody who could care less of whether or not they fix my issue and give me the same canned issues. These VAs are so aggressive. They're like, open another case, open another case, open another case. And the support people at Amazon just go, all right, they're not going away and just fix their issue. Or we know how to escalate things, or we know how to reach out to the right catalog team. Or do you know what I'm saying? Like, not only that, we had a client issue that got suspended, a section 3 the other day. We had him back up within a week because we knew what was going on and we were already inside the account. We were able to fix the issue. I mean, it doesn't replace having a good account management service that, is a good attorney that, can unsuspend an account like Jeff Schick, but having somebody that can help you avoid actually even needing that is huge, right? There's just so much that this offers that, we're going to announce this at the conference, but really, I mean, my whole objective is to provide something for people that are ready to stop juggling all these tasks that are costing them money so that they can pull the growth levers that enable them to start really growing their business, right? So, that's kind of what we're offering. But, I mean, it's not for everybody. I mean, if you're a brand new seller, I don't think you need this quite yet, right? There's some other things that I would put that $500 a month into inventory to grow the business. Yeah. But I mean, you take somebody who's doing, let's say 15, 20 grand a month, right? You're at that perfect threshold that you need something like this, because if you can do 20, you can do 40. If you can do 40, you can do 80. If you can do 80, you can do 160. If you can do 160, you can do 500 a month. It's a matter of freeing yourself up so you can pull growth levers in your business that allow you to source more profitable ASINs.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think what we're doing with this service is we're reducing your job down. Let's talk about the different categories of sellers. Okay. If you're an RA, OA, replens seller, which is where we start everyone, we're reducing your job down to finding more ASINs, right? Yep. We're reducing it down. managing your shoppers, that sort of thing. Get a VA involved, train them on your unique systems, because talk to 100 replen sellers, you're going to see 100 different unique strategies. We've got in our own training dozens of different ways to tackle this monster. So we're not going to do that part for you. You need to learn how to source. We've learned that lesson over the years here. If someone's not serious enough to learn how to source, they're not serious enough to succeed on Amazon. We don't have anything for you. You're going to have to learn how to source your own profitable inventory, and we're going to teach you how to do that. But that's about it once you have a good system in place. And I can see this tying very well to, for example, 3P Mercury, where you've got the software systems running, right? And then you've got this team behind that, and you've got as close to a fully automated workflow that can scale, like you said, from 20 to 40 to 80 to 160 to whatever. It's just a matter of how much capital you're going to pour into the machine, right? And we've got people playing at that level. So that's the RAOA. If you're building your own brand, you've mentioned several of the features, things that you wouldn't even think of. And I think people are sometimes surprised to know how deep we are in that world, because you listen to 50 of our podcast episodes, it's unlikely to even come up that we are brand building specialists here. But that's because we only work with qualified students. We don't want to throw people in over their heads into models that they're not qualified to tackle yet. So it's more of a behind the scenes thing. But even for someone who's doing that, building a brand, we've got services that address the things you don't even think to ask, right? And you just rattled off many of them, and there's many more that you probably haven't yet. So that's the RAOA, that's the brand builder. Basically, those are the two worlds. Am I selling other people's stuff, or am I selling a product or brand that belongs to me? Either way, we've got a team of VAs that can manage all the stuff that no one wakes up every day and goes, oh, I can't wait to check on my health status. I can't wait to check to see if any of my ASINs are currently, being reviewed by Amazon. Like, don't worry about all that stuff. Let a team of VAs do it for you.
That's the beautiful thing about it, Jim, is that, it frees you up to open up more multiple streams of income. So like, let's say you've been at the replens game for some time, right? And you've got it, you're building, you're growing, you're doing really well, but you've got this desire to say, hey, I want to build my own brand of this product. Well, if you're in there managing all the things in your Amazon account and with your business that you shouldn't be, that you could be paying somebody around $5 an hour to do. But most people, they don't have the time to train. They don't have the time to manage people. And not only that, they may not be good at that, dealing with other people. A lot of people get into this online selling game because they just are the square peg in a round hole. They don't fit in corporate America.
They don't want to manage people.
Left alone. They don't want employees, which I don't have any employees. We have, Jim, in our whole organization, we have about 60 plus people that work with us all over the world, right? Not one of them is employees.
I added up, it's closer to 100. 2 of them are employees.
Yeah, I'm an employee.
Organization in mind, we got about 100 people that do enough lifting every month that if they walk away, there's some work that's not getting done. But they're not employees, they're contract, right? VAs, coaches, administrators, support personnel, warehouse workers. You add it all up, man. We got a big team, but only a couple employees.
So it lowers your liability. But think about this. Let's say you're at a trade show searching for wholesale accounts, and you find one that's like, man, we don't want to sell to other people. We want to put it on ourselves, but we don't know how to do that. Oh, you need a trademark. Oh, you need brand registry. Oh, you need someone that will build and manage the account for you. Bring that deal to me, right? And we'll pay you 20% of all the revenue that account generates for life. And I can use this team to manage it, right? So that's an opportunity. But I think the biggest opportunity is freeing yourself up to do other streams of income, right? I mean, I can't tell you this, that every hour you spend going into Amazon, opening up cases, dealing with the case log management in your account, that's an hour of your life you will never get back. Time in life cannot be wasted on meaningless experiences. And for me, bringing these people on, right, and having, VAs that can do Shopify sites and build websites and do all the graphic design and do brand style guides and do all of these things has opened up a different dimension of my business where I never really wanted to have like an agency. In fact, I still don't consider my business, Humminbird, to be an agency, right? We're a brand nurturing company and a business nurturing company. And what it is it was designed out of a necessity because we've been doing this coaching business, Jim, for a long time, over 2 decades now, right? And it got to a place where I was like, okay, these people, they go so far where nobody wants to learn how to be an expert at Photoshop, right? I am, because I'm a nerd like that, right? But there's no way this person that I'm working with should be doing that, right? And so they go out and they go to Fiverr, and then they get ripped off, and then they get some design they think, oh, this is unique to me, and then they get out in the real world and go, oh wow, they created 70 other designs that were the exact same thing for other people, you know. But if you have somebody that's on your team that you can communicate directly with, that you don't have to make sure they get paid every week, you don't have to make sure that they're managed, you don't have to make sure that they're doing their job. It just gets done. It's like bringing a VA into your business without all the hassle of having to train them and all that stuff. To me, you know, I see this as something that someone needs done for them. Just like with Photoshop, some people don't need Photoshop. They need someone to do that for you. That's kind of what Humminbird does. You should never do your own trademark. That should be done by an attorney. I have a partner that's an attorney that does that. You know, you should never be creating a video and editing a video. We do all of that, right? You should never be building your own A+ content or your own Amazon store and all that stuff. You know, we've done it enough now and done it successfully that we have a standard operating procedure and a system for online arbitrage sellers, retail arbitrage sellers, the replens, wholesale, branded bundles, private label, you know, every strategy under the sun for e-commerce sellers. Although we don't recommend like drop shipping. Drop shipping, boy, I'll tell you, this new tariff thing, you're going to see every drop shipper out there. They're just done.
Yeah.
Shein and Temu, it's done. It's
drop shipping's been dead for a while. I mean, Amazon will audit you and say, we need to see the invoices dated before the point of customer purchase to prove that this is valid inventory. Drop shippers can't provide that. Drop shippers been fried for years. But yeah, back to the point, you know, what we've been saying for a couple decades. I mean, you could go back literally to 2016 when this podcast started. You can find content before that where we were saying the secret to leveraging the most powerful leverage tool the world has ever seen, the internet, making money while you sleep, right? That's leverage. That's putting a little effort into something now and it lifts a big boulder, right? That's leverage. Internet is the most powerful leverage tool ever invented. And in that arena, the most powerful leverage tool available to you once you're in that arena is putting other people to work with skills and specializations that you don't want to have to take the time to do yourself. I've been saying for 20 years, Nate, it's been a while since I said it, but show me your list of skills. I don't care what they are. Give me your list of skills. Give me 5 minutes. I used to say 5 minutes in the internet and Google. Now I can say, give me 30 seconds in Chat GPT. I will find a list of people for every skill you've got that's better, faster, cheaper, more experienced, been doing it longer, better to work with, easier to contact, lives, eats, breathes, and sleeps this well beyond any point you ever will. So your skill list isn't what's going to get you there, because that's all stuff that, you know, I don't care how good you are. You're not the best. You're not the cheapest. You're not the fastest. I don't care how good you are. So what does get you there? What gets you there is carving out your own space. And that's what we're encouraging people to do, using this team to support you on that journey. And the reason I continue to love Amazon is because that is the territory where you can carve out as much of your own space as you want. And we're going to help you defend it. That's, you know, it's not a skill. It is a territory that you're building. That's how I see Amazon. Go build a big catalog of ASINs. Go launch a brand. Go get a book of clients who rely on your expertise when really you're not the guy providing the value. It's your team of VAs behind the scenes that's doing it, right? Go carve out your space. And Amazon's the best place to do that. It's just occurring to me as we're thinking about, like, what are we asking people to do? If we got these great VAs, go carve out your territory. I think I'm going to start using that terminology more often, because that sets you apart. You've got your territory. You've said before, you know, you build a moat around the castle. Like, that's the stuff we're talking about today. Because if you try to make your business dependent on the set of skills you have, there's someone out there more skilled. You got to be conquering new territory to win.
Your time is your most valuable asset, right?
Absolutely.
And, you know,
protect it.
That's kind of what this does. And, you know, and that's the key to, like, coaching, for instance. You know,
go further, faster. That's what we say. Yeah.
Absolutely. With coaching, you know, you have a situation where, you know, we compress time. we can show you how to do things that take the average person, a lot more time to do, in less time, because, the time it takes to learn and apply this stuff is crazy. And there's just certain things that you shouldn't be learning and applying. You should let the people that do what they do best do that. I'm just so glad that I created this system for me. And the whole idea was like, man, well, why couldn't I just share what we're doing? I mean, one of my team members can manage 8 accounts. It's crazy because they have a rock solid SOP. And a lot of this is created by ChatGPT and Google Sheets so that it pulls the data right out of Amazon's API into our Google Sheets, and it's analyzed by ChatGPT, and it says, oh, Houston, we have a problem right here. And it notifies us. And we take care of it and manage it. And it's not like it's something where it's a fly by the seat of your pants type of thing. It is something that we built that's tried and true, where, and I've been doing this with people now for a while. I've not had one person come back and say, yeah, we just don't need this service anymore. Thanks. Not one. And in fact, everybody's like, yeah, I can't imagine my life without it. So what's cool is we're going to be able to roll this out to people in our community, Jim. And it's going to be a real game changer because it's going to free people up to solve the real problem, which is sourcing more products, adding more streams of income to your business. Because maybe you were thinking, hey, you know what? I'm going to start doing Amazon to Amazon flips now, right? But I haven't had time to do it because I'm managing too many tasks. Let us take a ton of those tasks off your plate so you can say, hey, I'm going to go and start doing the Amazon associate program, or, or I'm going to start
diversify into Walmart, or, all these great strategies we teach. I get frustrated sometimes, Nate. I see people who are complaining, saying, oh, it's not the same as it used to be 7 years ago. And I'm like, what are you doing? Still doing the same thing you were doing 7 years ago? What in the world? Why are you still? And you look at their daily schedule and it's the same thing. On Mondays, I put tape on boxes. On Tuesdays, I take care of all my account health issues. On Wednesdays, like, what are you doing? You've created a job for yourself. You're not taking any new territory. You're not building multiple income streams. And I had someone, we mutually recorded, had a great conversation about multiple income streams. And every chance I get, I have to remind people that doesn't mean you're trying to spin hundreds of different plates. It means you've created systems that spin those plates for you. And if you're not creating systems and automating constantly, you're going to eventually slip behind. Hey, we'll get back to the great episode in just a moment. Sorry for the interruption, but I want to point something out. If you're enjoying this program, this podcast, could you do us a little favor? Could you spread the word? Send some friends to silentjimdotcom and say, hey, check out this podcast. Multiple streams of income, learn to sell on Amazon, great free content. Hey, help us spread the word. That's the way we market this show, is you sharing with others. That's why we have over 6 million downloads on iTunes alone. And speaking of iTunes, would you leave us a review? We love to see those iTunes reviews rolling in. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes as well. That really helps us out in the industry to get recognition and gain followers and subscribers. If you subscribe yourself, leave us a review. By the way, did you know that this show that you're listening to right now was voted as the #1 podcast for Amazon sellers by an independent survey in late 2024? That's right. The #1 show for Amazon sellers. We won. And you're a big part of why. So thank you for being a listener. You're the best part of this show. But hey, help us spread the word if you don't mind. That helps us continue to bring you quality content, attract high quality sponsors and other listeners who will pay attention to what we're doing here, because we want to teach you to use the internet creatively to launch and grow multiple streams of income. We need your help to spread the word. We want to help others do the same. All right. God bless you, business building warrior. Thanks for a couple moments of your time. Let's get back to the show. And if you're not creating systems and automating constantly, you're going to eventually slip behind. Now, retail arbitrage will always be there. Finding stuff that's on sale and hustling and making a few dollars, that's always going to be there. We have some people that spend 60, 70, 80 hours a week, and that's all they do is they bargain hunt and they flip. And they've built a decent life out of it, but they're just hustling every day. And sometimes they come home with nothing to show for it. That's not building a system. We want you to build systems. We want you to own a business. We want you to build processes that you can step back and enjoy a nice pace of life where you're free. Your time, again, is freed up to do the things that you should be doing, right? That's what we're talking about. And we teach both here. And we've got great strategies. If you want to spend your days scanning barcodes and looking at clearance aisles, okay. But that's not a hard skill to learn either. But we'd rather see you build systems where you can step back, check your monitor your reports, see the results, and then build other streams and truly carve out unique territory. So we've talked a lot about this. I know we're going to launch it at the conference. We've mentioned, if you're listening to this well after May of 2025, it's already launched. But how can people find out more about this? Where should they go to? Is it the Hummingbird site?
Well, you can go to hummingbird.com, but you can call us because this is a service that will be offered exclusively,
very customized,
with the coaching office. So you can go to jimcockrumcoaching.com, schedule a call to talk about it, and feel free to contact me directly or any of my consultants. They can go and take a look at your situation, make sure it's a right fit for you. Because I think that's an important thing to the whole customer satisfaction. Something, if you haven't heard this on another podcast or from us before, don't do business with strangers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's the title of a book I'm working on. Never sell to strangers.
Yeah. Because, I want to get to know who you are and what your business is like. And, if I'm going to, bring you into my inner circle and have the same team that manages everything I've got going on, managing everything you got going on, you better believe I want to make sure that it's a right fit and that it's going to work for you and that you're going to be happy with it. This is a service that is my baby, just because I'm overseeing this one personally, because I just want to make sure that if you come in, it'll be so sticky, you'll never want to get out, because it'll be such a good service that you won't know how you lived without it.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that's going to pay for it. It's going to pay for itself by design. It pays for itself. I just want to give people a link if they're listening today. silentjim.com/book a call. silentjim.com/book a call. That takes you right to our coaching calendar. You can text us. You can call us anytime, or schedule a call to talk about the account management services.
Yeah. And I mean, we'll be real upfront. I mean, it's, it starts out about $500 a month. I mean, if you need us to manage a big time, like catalog of, and $10,000 a month in ad spend minimum or whatever, it's a little bit different in that regard. We want to make sure that it's a right fit. I mean, we're not going to do, a massive project for $500 a month. But I mean, most people start out at that $500 a month. And if they need a little bit more down the road, we can grow from there. But you'll be blown away at what you get out of this for that price. And not only that, more importantly though, how much is your time worth, right? If you think about it this way, right? If your time is worth more than $50 an hour, which I think everybody listening to this, if your income barometer is not above that, we need to change it. You need to sign up for our coaching program. We need to change that, right? But think about this. If you're spending more than 10 hours a month managing your account, which I'm pretty sure you are, how about buying that time back for yourself so that you can put that 10 hours a month into something that actually makes you $5,000 profit more per month, right? Take 500 and turn it into 5K. It compounds. It's all about compressing time, compressing money, using leverage my team. That's why I built it. There's some things you should be doing in your business. There's some things you should not. And I can tell you, the one thing you should not be doing is going back and forth with the seller support agent from India that is not going to give you the time of day and help you get what you're trying to get, because you're not using the right verbiage, because you haven't opened up thousands of cases that we've successfully won with Amazon like we have, right? So
yeah, it's going to eliminate a lot of the frustration points for a lot of sellers. Yeah. And so excited to be doing this. And that's what we've done at every stage over the years, Nate. It's really the next step has been pretty obvious for us as leaders in this community. It's what are the pain points and what are the big opportunities? Let's tackle both of them and break them down so that it's digestible to those who are in our community who are listening to what we do. And that's what we do. We tackle the big issues, we break them down into bite-sized nuggets for you. And the opportunities, we break them down into processes where you can pursue them, do the work, and get new income streams rolling. And it's a pretty special community. Well, we're going to be doing this conference here. It's just coming up. As listeners hear this very quickly, theprovenconference.com is the website. Get over there, get your tickets. We still got scholarships remaining as of this recording, meaning if you're new to our community, come at no cost. There's details on the page about our scholarship. But what are you going to be talking about at the event Nate, what topics are you most excited about? We've got 45 or so breakout sessions. You're going to be in a handful of them.
Yeah.
Besides this, the account management services, I know you've been working on some big brands that you've partnered with that are
Yeah, I'm
going
actually
really
gonna.
well.
I've got some permission from them to literally show you all what I'm doing and how I've done it, and what we're doing as a company and the techniques that we're employing. So I'm going to talk about how to go out and find businesses that you can manage their Amazon. I can tell you though, you may think, oh, am I qualified enough to do that? Absolutely. If you've done replens, if you bought and sold on Amazon, 99.9% more than anybody else out there.
Right? I've said it this way. If you've listened to 20 episodes of our podcast, you're more qualified than 95% of all brand
Yep,
owners to talk Amazon.
yep, absolutely. And so that's kind of, from my vantage point, we're going to be showing you how to, go with a different strategy that is, well, if you won't let me manage it for you on Amazon, because that's the safest play, right? You don't have to buy their inventory. They provide the inventory and you can make the same margins just selling it for them on Amazon.
And you've
So,
diversified too. You don't have to worry about your account being suspended because now you've got 5, 10, 20 different
yep,
Amazon accounts that you're.
yep. If your account's been suspended, that's what you do is you shift to that and
Mhm.
you manage selling it for other people on their accounts. And then, another thing I like to talk about is like, what's new with the internet? What are these new things that are popping up? What are we seeing in terms of how's AI going to impact? How's the tariffs going to impact? Right? There's a few things, and I'll be kind of speaking about some of that with you in our intro session that we generally usually do, right?
Mhm.
So what's new? What's new in the world of using the internet creatively to generate revenue and income, right? How am I using Facebook Marketplace? I'm using it. We're making it happen, right? I've started liquidating products for other brands that I work with, right? They don't want to see it pop up on Amazon. They don't want to see it, popping up on eBay and whatever. They just want it liquidated. They want it gone. There are all kinds of services. What I'm doing in the space of clothing and shoes, what I'm doing in the space of health and beauty and wellness. So I'm going to put it all out there. Hey guys, this is what I'm doing to make money. It's kind of like what we've always done, right, Jim? It's like I don't feel like, oh, hey, I'm going to keep this a secret so that I can, be in this scarcity mentality that, oh, if I show the world this, everybody's going to do it and it's going to diminish the opportunity. Actually, no, that's not how it works. If you think in abundance and you share with people what you're doing, you're going to find that world of abundance comes back to you in spades. It's amazing.
Yeah. And the community always improves on the ideas too. I mean, the replens model itself is a great example of that. We rolled that out as a concept years before anyone else was even talking about it around the internet. And then our community started working on it. And here comes tools and strategies and new insights and software being developed in our community that improved that process and keeps us, as you always say, 3 to 5 years ahead of everyone else
Yep.
because of that abundance mindset where we share with an open book. Hey, here's what's working, guys. Let's all work on this and improve it together. That's how you stay ahead of the curve. The stuff that worked 10 years ago, the specific strategies may not work anymore, but the concepts still work if you're adapting your strategies, if you're using the latest tools. And I think replens is a good example of that. For example, it used to be if you had 50 or 100 good replens, you could build a decent business with that. And some of them would last for a year or two, even. And you would be making a profit on the same ASIN every month after month after month for a long period of time. Well, that's changed. Now we see sellers managing 1,500 ASINs in a replens business with far less work and effort, mind you, than the guy who was selling 50 maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Far less effort involved in finding them, far less effort involved in managing the business, way more profitable. But if you're still doing it the way that we taught it 7 or 8 years ago, you're going to struggle. So you've got to be constantly learning, constantly adapting. That's one of the rules of success on the internet that we've always said is you've got to always be learning, surrounding yourself with, like you just said, Nate, people of an abundance mindset, sharing ideas so you can stay ahead of the curve. And it may sound like a lot of work, but it's really not. you're learning a couple new things a week, trying new things, automating, building systems. The key to all of it, in my opinion, unless you can come up with a better key, is asking yourself constantly, am I the only person that could be doing what I'm doing right now? And if not, build a system, automate it, put someone else in place, and keep adding new streams. That's the path.
Yeah. 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 It's all about moving to a place where your life is more simple, right?
Yeah.
Although I got to tell you that it's hard to get there. It's not easy, right? If you have the right coach and if you have the right strategies and you have the right team, 10 times easier, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably, if you're wondering and you're listening to this, why is my business not growing the way that I'd like to see it grow? Right? It's because you're not surrounding yourself with the right people.
It's the who, not the how. It's not the
It's
strategies, the skills, the techniques.
absolutely,
Skills are a dime a dozen. Right?
absolutely.
It's the people.
Yep.
Yep. You surround yourself with, and a good chance to do that. We've heard time and time and time again. I can't tell you how many times on this podcast, countless times, people have said, yeah, I was kind of skeptical, or I was kind of struggling, or it wasn't quite going the way I wanted. I went to one of the events and I was surrounded with this community. That's when it took off. I mean, that's Brian and Robin Joy Olson's story. They were about to quit. Now they're great leaders with a beautiful, successful business. They came to an event, got surrounded by the right people, business took off.
Absolutely. We're doing a workshop with them 2 days before the conference, the Proven Conference in Orlando. The conference is the 29th through the 31st of May, but the 27th and the 28th, we're doing a workshop with Brian and Robin.
Open the laptops, small group. Yeah, but lots of experts walking around the room, going through the process together. Absolutely. It's a way to go further, faster in a very small, intimate environment. Yeah. So call the coaching office if you're interested. It may be sold out by the time you hear this, or close to sold out at this point. But absolutely, yeah, we want you to be a part of that event. So what else do you want to cover today, buddy, as we start to wrap this one up, man? I think it was a good episode.
About it, man. That's just about it.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of good territory today, and I think if you have any questions, maybe the good next best course of action would be give us a call. Let's have a conversation. We've got really good people on the phones all day, every day. We'd love to have a conversation with you, help you map out completely free. Map out, like Nate said earlier, where are you at right now? Let's discover that. Where are you trying to get? What resources do you need to help make that journey happen? Let's go for it. So yeah, give us a shout.
I think that I've had people that call in and talk to us, and coaching wasn't the right move for them, but the direction that we gave them was massive for them. And 6 months later, they called back and said, "Hey, I did exactly what you told me to do, and now I am ready for coaching." So, a lot of people will call us and get on a call and, "Hey, I'm not really ready for coaching, but what direction do I need to get ready?" And give us a call and meet some of our people. I mean, they're here to help you regardless. They're not really salespeople. They are highly qualified consultants. They know the business. They do the business. If they don't have the answer, there's someone else here in the office that does. So, don't be afraid to give us a call, find out what it all entails, find out what you're looking at, because, we all want to climb the same mountain, and I've been on top of that mountain. I know where all the handholds are, and I can throw down ropes to you and all kinds of stuff. But you got to engage. You got to take that first step, right? So,
yeah, reach out, connect with us. Well, Nate, it's always good to see you, buddy, and see you in person here in a few weeks. For those who don't realize it, we're in different states. Our whole team's spread out all over the world, really. So we're not in the same place at the same time all that often as a team. So we're really looking forward to the conference at the end of May. If nothing else, if you can't attend, be sure to get live stream, and which gets you all the recordings as well. It gets you into that 1,200 person Facebook group for the event. Go to theprovenconference.com for all those details. Hope to see you guys in Orlando. Well, Nate, good hanging out with you, buddy. Great episode.
Awesome, brother.
Thanks for your work today. Hey, for all the listeners who hung out with us today, I've got some good news for you. If you enjoyed this conversation, if you're new, scroll back in time, listen to 5, 10, 20 episodes of this show. You're going to discover dozens of incredible interviews with the successful students from our community. That's the philosophy of this podcast is we teach what works, then we hear from people who have used those ideas, and we share their success story with you. So it's a flywheel of success stories that's just continued for many, many years now. And just if you scroll back, you're going to be encouraged and inspired by some of the great stories. The vast majority of all of our students started the exact same place. That's the Proven Amazon course. You can go to provenamazoncourse.com. There's a link at silentjim.com to that course and get started today. $39 a month. That's it. And it has all of our Amazon seller training. Or maybe you want to go further faster, talk to a coach. We'd love to talk to you about that as well. Well, hey, we'll have some more good episodes for you very soon. Thanks for joining us today. God bless all the business building warriors. Bye for now.